Hi everyone, I'm Anisha. Welcome to my channel on astrology and tarot. For those of you who are seeking deeper clarity, be it in your love life or your career, for a personal consultation, you may write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. Leos, welcome to your annual 2022-23 horoscope forecast. We have another intense year ahead. For those of you who follow astrology, you must have been reading about the Pluto return that is happening this year. The main theme for this year, or rather for the Pluto return, is global and political power restructuring that is happening. And it's going to be affecting all of us, and especially because the Pluto returns is happening in the United States. The similar way that we have our own individual charts, even the countries have astrological charts. And the return which happens, the Pluto return that happens once in every 248 years. Pluto is a very slow moving planet, and it takes that many number of years to complete one revolution around the zodiac. And this is so in the chart of the United States, which is cast for signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, the planet Pluto is placed in the house, what we call as the second house, of money, of self-worth, of everything that is of value. Personally, I feel that the rumbling of the Pluto return started around 2008. That's the time when it entered Capricorn. But that is a time where a lot of political and economic global changes started happening. Pluto is also sitting in the sign of Capricorn, which in my view doubles down as a theme of worthiness. Capricorn is the sign of sea goat, the mythological creature that can climb any mountain, it can swim any sea in its quest to succeed. Now, often when we have planets in the second house, in the sign of Capricorn, especially with the one which is similar to that of a Pluto, we are dealing with a shadow self who believes that it must work in order to prove its worth. Believing that it is not enough already, it finds itself in circumstance after circumstance that demands that it pays a price for something that it already owns. Now, until something happens to break its cycle and raise our consciousness, the cycle can carry on. So let's talk about Pluto a bit over here, and I'll just give you a context as to why is it that we need to be concerned about it, why it is that we need to be paying more attention to it, and why there is almost a sense of trepidation amongst astrologers while we're talking of the Pluto return. Now, most of the mythological stories that are associated with the planet Pluto are linked to Greek god Hades, and he was the lord of underworld with a rather tight and unyielding control. Hades ruled the realms of those who were passing from this world into the next, and his name and his myth are associated with power, transformation, resurrection, the shadow, the riches of the unseen, and also with that of life, death, and rebirth cycle. The most poignant Plutonian myth is one that he shares with Persephone, and by some accounts, Persephone was abducted by Hades to rule the underworld along with him and be his wife. And the also from as for from most of the accounts, they describe her abduction and initiation into the underworld as an intense process whereby she was stripped of the life that she had known before in order to undergo a rebirth that enabled her to rise up and become one of the most powerful deities in Greek mythology. So, in astrology, the symbolism of Pluto in our birth chart is associated with similar processes of transformation, and Pluto transit. The transits often accompany periods in our life that tend to take us down in order for us to rise back up, and that seem to demand we surrender every ounce of our power so that we might remember what it means to own and wield our power responsibly. For you Leos, it is there in your house of work. It's in the house of which rules your daily life and health. So having a Pluto transit over here, it can bring about power struggles and control issues at work with the people you work with or for. You may struggle to have passion for the work you do and have very little patience if you don't care for your work. And you may struggle with daily life as well, having little patience or being more easily angered and struggling to control your health. Now, how you can survive the Plutonian transit is that when it comes to work, Leos, you absolutely need to be doing something that you love. And if you don't, it's going to be eating away at you till the time that one day you just simply explode. So avoid that by focusing on doing the work that you really enjoy. It may not be getting you that plethora of wealth or that recognition, but it's something that you will deeply connect with and you will deeply enjoy. And if you're not in a job you care for, you could see this transit, you know, um, changing you, and just ensure that you don't end up being bitter, especially if you're not in a place or in a space of work which you like. And if you're already experiencing this transit, work harder on a plan to make a change on your career. Pluto loves a good transformation, so give it to him. As for daily life, work on being better in control of yourself through your routine, your schedule, your lifestyle. And this transit can help you develop some really phenomenal, good organizational skills, and make sure that you have an outlet for any anger and frustrations that come up, so you're less likely to snap. As far as your health is concerned, it's important that you are more proactive with health issues and with living a more healthy lifestyle, and to take treatments more seriously. The outlet for anger and frustration also will be extremely helpful for you. So you may want to work on addressing anger related issues that you hold deep inside yourself. Otherwise, they could manifest into health problems. This transit also, it can be more prominent for you, especially if you have another transit planet that is there in this house. So if it's a hard aspect to this house, and especially if you have, say, a hard Saturn or a Saturn aspect over here, then things could be a little concerning. We have Venus that also goes retrograde in your house of day-to-day chores and your health, and it can be that, and it's retrograde till about the end of Jan. So it can be that everyday care of the smaller necessities of life get highlighted during this time, and it can also be that you may feel that you're not getting your daily due or your proper attention, but then you may discover it's because you haven't really asked for proper attention, or you haven't really asked for what it is that you really want, and you've just been getting angry and irritated by it. So learning new and more satisfying ways to address your personal habits and those of others will almost refresh you once you take a closer look at what is it that you really want, or what is it that the other person wants from you. And this could mean taking better care of yourself, eating what truly satisfies you, and turning the necessities of the daily grind into opportunities of ever evolving accomplishment. And life is one thing at a time, and each done well. By the time we have April 30th, we have a solar eclipse in your house of career, which is joining Uranus, which is already there. So eclipses this year, they're going to be affecting your house of work and your house of home. So you're going to be feeling quite polarized between them. So your house of career, of course, it speaks about dealing with authority figures, and with the new moon over here, it could speak about a career advancement. It could speak also about a change in life path, or maybe dealing with a superior. Try and present yourself as best as you can at all times, because you may find people are watching you more than normal. You're just under magnifying glass, or you're under scrutiny, and especially as far as your work and your accomplishments are concerned. And it could be quite hard to keep things hidden during this time, Leos. So try and keep things on the straight and narrow. And if there's gossip going on around you, you need to be asking yourself why. And it can be truer than you think it is during this time. And also, it's a good time for a raise or promotion, accolades, recognition, and you will have the energy to do it during this time. So don't get overwhelmed by how much you have to do, and delegate what needs to get done or when needed. So sometimes the energy can be intense, and you could feel quite stressed out. So try and stay focused and deal with the important things, and remember, delegation is a smart thing to be doing. Try not to do everything on your own. Good time to be formulating long-term goals as well, professional goals as well. Around the May 11th, we have Jupiter that moves into your house of long-distance travel. It speaks about learning, expanding your mind, and it is there till about October the 9th. Another eclipse that is there on the May 11th. We have May 16th, we have a lunar eclipse, and that is there in your house of home. And eclipses normally last for 6 months. So we have your house of home, which is lit, and we also have your house of learning and long distance travel. So it can be that there is something which is coming to an end, maybe as far as a home is concerned. Maybe you are it has to do with inheritance. It has to do with maybe selling off of a property, of a buying a property, and you could be finishing a project with a house, or a settlement could be happening, and you could be for some of you, you could just be spending a lot of time at home or at work, or there could just be a desire to try and balance the both, and the realization that there is no point in a personal life if the professional life is in a mess, and vice versa could come about now. And you may feel the need to detach and spend some time alone, but it's a better use of the energy if you open yourself to others and connect. Taking a break from the home and getting out for a while could be useful during this time. And this house of the fourth house is also a spiritual karmic house. So a full moon over here could present situation that almost have a feeling of destiny or karma around it, and you could be focused on whether you're on where you're going on in life, and how you'll get there, and whether or not you're even on the right road to start with. An opportune moment could arise for you, Leos, and the one that could make you scratch your head and go that maybe I need to think this over. Between September and November 2022, we have a square between Saturn and Uranus, and for you again, this is speaking about your work, and it's speaking about your relationships. And again, there seems to be a tug of war going on over there. And we then have Mars, which is retrograding in Gemini, and that's again a big aspect by end of October. And this is touching your house of friendships, and you could find that you're not asserting yourself amongst friends, amongst peers and colleagues. And how are your needs being met, or how are your needs being eclipsed by the will of your tribe, and how can you reclaim your place without stepping on too many toes. Alternatively, if you pick up your tribe's banner and you start waving it around, that is, you could be taking a political action on behalf of your demographic. You might find yourself bonding with your comrades at arms. So seems to be quite well lit. And end of 2022, we have Jupiter that is moving back into your house of joint finances, taxes, loans, inheritances, and then it's going to be going direct again when it moves into your house of long distance travel. So a lot of focus, I think, when the year closes, that you are going to be looking at, it's almost like division of money, who gets what. It's around inheritances, it's around also around family, legacy. A lot of focus, however, for you, because there is the eclipses are focused around your work, and they're focused around your friendships. The Plutonian effect is really around the mundane aspects of day-to-day things, Leos. You could just be finding maybe life to be a bit of a drag, or maybe things seemingly not moving, or that you could just be feeling like a hamster on wheel. It's the same. Also, for those of you who are not feeling as though that your needs are being met, maybe you need to be seeing as to how it is that you are communicating. Maybe something needs to transform. So, good time to be remembering the Plutonian lesson of resurrection, of giving away of power, so that we can come off our own this year. And this aspect is not going off soon. So, the sooner we embrace it, the better for all of us. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Leos. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much.